Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Maribel. I did not get a chance to do a third trimester update while I was pregnant. The day that I was gonna record the video was the day that my son was born. So I'll make it really quick. My third trimester, tons of heartburn. I would wake up in the middle of the night feeling like a dragon. What I tried to do to avoid heartburn was not eating or drinking anything about 30 minutes to an hour before going to bed. But even when I did that, I would still have terrible heartburn. As soon as I would lay down, it was game over. I was also really tired during my third trimester. I am a personal trainer and it was just tiring showing exercises, but I got it done. I got the job done. Like if I dropped something, I would be like, to really have to pick up whatever I just dropped, like I would just leave it there. I wouldn't even try. My third trimester was pretty good. No other complaints other than terrible heartburn and tiredness, of course. So into my birthing story. I'm so excited to tell you guys about this story. So I never really discussed how my first birth went other than it went really quickly. For my first labor experience, it went so fast. I had no time to really digest what was going on. So in a way it was a little bit traumatic. Even though it was quick, everything went great. I didn't get the water birth that I wanted, but it was a little bit traumatic just because it was going so fast that I had no time to really take in what was going on and how to handle it. It was literally back-to-back contractions with like absolutely no kind of breaks. So it was a bit tough in that sense where my body was moving at a rapid pace that it was very hard to take it all in. For this birth, I am so happy I got the water birth that I wanted the morning of. So I woke up at like 5:30 a.m. to get ready to do my online class. It goes from 6 to 7. And you know, I felt fine. I just felt really tired and I had a little bit of tightening, but nothing that was crazy or alarming. So I went back to sleep after I taught the class. The last few days before getting labor, I was so tired. I was moving into a new place and I was just so sleepy. I didn't get up until a few hours later. I woke up to contractions, but they weren't painful. And you know, I just kept on sleeping. I was like, okay, whatever. This is just probably Braxton Hicks, nothing to be concerned about. So I got up, went, cooked breakfast. Me and my toddler were downstairs. He was playing with Play-Doh. I was making breakfast. We ate. And I was feeling the contractions, but I don't know. I was just like, okay, like, I'm gonna just keep on doing what I'm doing. So I'm like washing dishes, unpacking. Then I started to cook lunch, and that's when things started getting interesting. So my contractions were feeling stronger. So then I texted my husband like, hey, there's contractions. I doubted I'm having the baby today, but just letting you know I'm cooking and these contractions are feeling a lot stronger. So I was cooking rice, I was baking chicken, baking potatoes, and then I started getting scared. I'm like, what about if it goes on to full-blown labor like last time with nonstop and I'm over here cooking and the fire, you know, fire is on, oven is on. After a while, the contractions just kept getting really strong where I was kind of pausing. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna stop cooking. I go use the bathroom and I see I have a little bit of blood. That's when I was like, okay, maybe something really is going on. It was the mucus plug or bloody show. It wasn't like a ton of blood, but it was a little bit, but definitely something that I haven't had before. I called my midwife. She's like, okay, I'm gonna come over and just check it out. I called my sister, so they go to the store and buy a couple things that we were missing. My husband's also at the store, grabbing the last few things. My midwife is like setting up the tub. So as soon as she gets here, she goes, you're 3 centimeters, so I'm just gonna stick around. Then we start timing up my contractions. Some of them are about 10 minutes apart, others are about 5 minutes apart. Some are strong, some are not strong. As I am in labor, I am walking around my house. I'm also helping set up everything. We were setting up my room, getting the tub ready, connecting the hose to the tub. On top of that, my toddler's running around like crazy. He had so much energy and I'm like, great. We're like coloring, reading books, playing. At one point I was like, okay, I'm hungry. It's like 3 p.m. now and I just want to eat something before things keep going. I don't want to be starving. So I go and eat some cereal and banana bread. And I noticed also when I would sit down, the contractions would slow down. So I'm like, you know what? I need to continue walking so that it can continue to progress. I wasn't trying to be here all day. So I was laboring everywhere. I would just keep on walking. If I had to stop, I would stop. There was one point where I was going up the stairs, but a strong contraction was coming, so I literally just sat on the stairs and waited for the contraction to be finished. It was a great experience. The contractions were not painful. It wasn't until the end that they were getting really strong. Towards the end, I just sat on the toilet, which is something I did with the first pregnancy. I feel like that position is really good as far as like gravity. So I would really concentrate on breathing the baby down. I read a lot of hypnobirthing books and watched videos. One of the breathings that I did during the contractions, and this is mainly during the more difficult contractions, I would like breathe in some air and then blow it out through my nose, and really just imagining just pulling down something, bringing my baby down. I wanted my breath to help me instead of blowing out or continuing to bring more air in. I really wanted my air to flow down and the energy to flow down. So my bathroom has this beautiful window and you can see all these trees flowing. One of the things that I read, baby. So one of the things that I read was, you know, your contractions are waves. But since I had tree leaves in front of me, I was like, okay, well, these are my waves. And I was like, okay, just flow like the tree, flow like these leaves. My husband was there sitting in front of me saying like, oh, imagine our kid is gonna be playing basketball. Like, okay. But it was a good to envisioning the future. Still focusing on today, but also focusing on, you know, there's gonna be a greater outcome to all this. My sisters were playing with my son outside, so it was really nice to see the trees, and the sun was out. It was such a beautiful day. And on top of that, I could hear my son laughing and screaming so much outside that it just brought so much happiness to me. So after a while, I started getting sleepy during the contractions. It was really weird. I even asked my midwife, like, is it normal to feel sleepy? And she said, yeah. So she's like, okay, come to your bed, let's lay down. So I lay down on the bed and I literally felt like I was just gonna fall asleep, but the contractions were really starting to get stronger. So at that point she goes, okay, you are 8 centimeters, we need to get you in this tub. I almost felt like I wasn't gonna make it to the tub because I felt so relaxed and so sleepy, I didn't even wanna move. But I decided like, okay, I wanted my water birth, I need to get up from this bed. As soon as I went in the water, it felt so relaxing. The water was so warm. I loved it. I loved how relaxing the water was. And baby came out in about less than 5 minutes as soon as I went into the water. It was such a beautiful experience. Nobody thought he was already gonna come. So I do have a short video that I'm gonna share. It's about 1 minute long. And that's as much as we were able to record. I would say I didn't push. One thing that happened with my first, I was pushing and holding and listening to what other people were saying. People were saying, oh, push, okay, don't push, okay, now push, okay, breathe this way. And I figured this time I'm just gonna listen to myself because I did end up tearing a little bit with the first one. So this time around, there was absolutely no tearing, which I am so happy because it is possible to do this without tearing. I kept telling myself, my body is meant to do this. You can do this throughout the entire process. There were people saying like, okay, push, don't push. I was not listening to that at all. I listened to my body and I did not push at all, even though that term is always used. I didn't push. My body did it on its own and I let my body, when my body wanted to do it, I did it. And when my body didn't, I just didn't. And I got out the tub and I walked fine with my first pregnancy. Or with my first labor. I think all the pushing and not pushing, I couldn't walk really afterwards. My legs were shaking so bad. This time around, my body did not shake, my legs were not shaking. I was fine and my recovery has been great. I felt fine that day. The next day, I was good. So I would highly recommend reading hypnobirthing or just whatever works for you. Just my advice as far as birthing is just be as positive as you can. Don't allow any kind of negativity. Let your body flow freely and just let it be. So yes, I hope you guys enjoyed my story. If you have any questions or comments, please drop them below. I would love to know your experience or your thoughts or anything that I might have left out. Baby is asleep. See you guys.
Now, push for me. Wow. Very nice. You have more gray hair.
Turn on that light. Doing light.
Solely up to you guys. I have my own life, so I don't need to do anything more.
Congrats, you guys.
Right? Oh my god. Do you all get birth like that? You guys all get birth like that?